Howdy, and welcome to the Choose a Happy Day show, a podcast for women who want to up-level their life, manifest those dreams, and just live happier. If you have vision boards, love energy work, are into psychics, and feel you are meant for something more in this life, then this show is for you. Hi, I'm Lorraine Toth, an award-winning filmmaker, author, Reiki master, photographer, and creative genius who also loves to vision board. And I am here to bring you all of the tips and tricks to help you up-level your life. Now let's go and hop on that happy train.
All right, everyone. So welcome back to the Choose a Happy Day show. My name is Lorraine Toth, and today I have a great guest who I'm so excited to introduce to y'all. She is Teresa with Healing Key Connections. So say hello, Teresa.
Hello.
So Teresa and I met, I guess, by chance. My mutual friend, Laura, she recommended I have a session with you, and I reached out, and it was incredible. I did cry a lot during my first session, but it was so transformative that I wanted to ask you to be a guest on this show because what you did was just like, wow. So can you just tell our audience what you do and that whole sound bath thing?
Every solistic sound journey is completely unique to the individual. Every solistic sound journey is just a journey for everyone. And when you come in, I feel your energy without really judging or just figuring out why or what I'm doing. I just know what to do. So I bring you, I let you get to stand in my giant singing bowl that you actually get to stand immersed in a sound bath. You stand in the singing bowl. I will say that again. You stand in the singing bowl. And as I play the bowl, you actually get to experience an opening of your energy. And the more open you are, the deeper the journey goes. When you're really open, sometimes old wounds come up. And those old wounds come up, and I do a little bit of EFT tapping where we tap on healing meridian points, as well as you communicate, and I'll ask you some questions that flow up intuitively that are really deep sometimes, depending on the person. And when it happens, there's just this ability for you to let go and release.
Yes.
And then it usually winds down with some gentle healing, such as Reiki, so that you can connect to yourself. But every journey is depending on where you are and where your energy is that day.
Oh, okay. So did you know when I came in that I was, I guess, more open energy?
I don't
know how you knew to go so deep, because we went to 12-year-old Lorraine just to give them some, basis. We went way long time ago, old school Lorraine.
So what happens is it's like when you get in the bowl, it's just the right words flow into my mouth and what you need flows in. And it's more like you and your subconscious and you deciding where you want to go. Okay. And then the more safe you feel, the deeper you actually choose to go. And I just make sure I have the right tool in the right moment to help facilitate that journey and release.
It was incredible. Just the old tapes, I call them the red tapes running through our minds from childhood trauma, that you were able to work through. And I just felt so open and grounded afterwards, and I got into the sound bowl, not even thinking because I'm also a Reiki master. So I was like, oh, well, this is cool. I'm going to be chill. And then next thing I know, I have a breakthrough in your sound bowl. So does that happen a lot?
With me, yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
I mean, this is a unique experience in general, but just the concept, I welcome in people's emotions. And we have such a small team sometimes in that allowing us to move through emotion or past experiences, and we have to feel safe. And if I can hold a safe enough space for you, maybe not everybody will connect in that way, but the ones that do are able to go into that space. It's your choice, really, but it's also you feeling safe with me and me feeling safe with you, and our energies having a conversation and then it expanding in a way that
was so enlightening. And I loved how you ended with the Reiki and grounding me. like at the end. So I got to lay on the massage table and you helped ground me, and did the Reiki, which was incredible. But for our audience, not everyone knows what EFT is. So can you just briefly explain that?
Yes. So EFT is called emotional freedom technique, where you actually tap on your meridian points on your face, and they're all connected to different organs and clearing out energy. But what's unique about it is it also pairs talking. So let's say you came in and you're like, I really just can't manifest what I want. It's not, I want it, I see it, but I can't have it. Like, I feel like I just can't get it. It's always at the tip of my tongue or the tip of my hands. I can't reach it. Well, there's something in your subconscious that's telling you maybe you're not worthy of that. And it's something you probably learned from childhood. So, which is always blows people's mind when they actually get there, because they don't expect it. Because even if you've had a beautiful childhood, there's something in there that may say, oh, I can't have this. And you work on that. When you get into these spaces, there's these weird conversations that I could never make up that come through. And you help you release what it is that's holding you back from creating the desire that you want, or simply not letting yourself see what you want, like, clearly.
So you help them kind of get in touch with whatever their limiting belief is. And sometimes it is from childhood. And then once they clear that, then they're able to better manifest. Is that how it works?
Manifest, or just in reality, just allow themselves to get what they need. Like their needs met. It could be as simple as that, like manifesting your needs that have to be met. Or a weird story today. I was actually tapping before I came here. And I was
for yourself.
I was like, one weird thing out of it was a big tapping on letting go of grief. But I was initially frustrated. My printer just stopped working and I needed to work. And I'm like, okay, I'm not happy about this. And then I'm doing a happy day podcast and I'm not happy about this and some other things in my life. So I'm going to just tap on this. Well, the printer wasn't working. It was just like ink spitting out. And then I printed the thing to fix it. It stopped doing, the ink stopped. And I was like, so that it was all clean. There was no extra ink and I could print out my manuals that I needed to print out for a class I was taking. And I was just like, it never ceases to amaze me how energy in your mind affects everything around you.
But yeah, I think that, you helping people get past that hurdle, for me, you helped me. Like I think one of the things I was saying is I am worthy. And our session was October, November, I don't know, something like that. And after that, I was able to kind of stand up for myself and end a relationship because my needs weren't met. And like, since then, I was able to fully transform. But you helped me lift, that limiting belief off of me, I guess. So
you did that.
You could do? I love that. She just like, there, you did that. Well, it was incredible. So if you feel like you're stuck, I guess they can look to you to help move through that.
Yes, as long as you're open.
Okay.
As long as you're open.
Okay.
And you get in my bowl.
Get or singing bowl. Yeah, it's a sound bowl, right? Or
it's called? Well, I like the alchemy bowl. I like how they call it a bronze alchemy bowl or a bronze singing bowl. I like that name. There's all kinds of fun, different names for the singing bowls, but I like the alchemy bowl.
It's amazing. And just to give you a picture, like this thing is huge. I'm 5'8", and I was totally able to stand in this bowl. Like that's huge, right? And it's from Hawaii, did you say?
Yeah, it's imported from India by my friend that was living at Hawaii, and it was in her living room, and she brought it out to me. She's like, I know you want a gong. But I was like,
this is better.
I was like, And ironically, everybody calls it a gong when they see it because they don't know what it's called. They haven't seen it much. I was like, yeah, it is my gong. My friend calls it the original gong because it's a big bowl and it's amazing.
It's huge. We can post pictures after for you guys that you can see. All right. So my next question was talk about clearing stress and trauma and limiting beliefs. I guess we kind of already did that. But is there a key takeaway you can give people at home that they can do for themselves?
I feel like we forget to release and we hold it all in to like function. So one of the things that I do for myself and a lot of empaths and energy workers, we kind of get stuck sometimes.
Mhm.
And if we check in with ourselves, and I do this thing where we scan the body from head to toe, feeling for any place where our breath might be stuck, where we physically have tension, or for some of us that feel the energy, the tingling, the heat, the warmth, all these different sensations in our body, we can let ourselves find those places.
Oh.
And depending on who you are, you might hear things, you might just know where in your body, I say, needs more love.
Okay.
And then sitting with your breath,
Mhm.
or any healing practice that you have learned, but primarily breath is amazing. Anyone from any meditation, and sitting in that space and giving it permission to open up to whatever you need to release. And this can be hard by yourself if you don't want to cry alone, and then also hard to do with other people if you're fearful of being vulnerable.
Right.
So I would say try to lose the fear of being vulnerable as best you can when it comes to emotional release, so that you can let go of those heavy layers.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you give yourself permission, that's the number one thing. When you ever feel like you're holding everything inside, is simply telling yourself, I have permission to release this. I have permission to manifest this. I have permission. Like telling it out loud or in your mind, not just thinking, oh yeah, I do that already.
Yeah.
You don't. Most
No.
of us don't.
We don't. We hold it on, especially us, moms and women, right? Like we hold on to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's okay to cry, to summarize, like let it out. And then when you say scan the body, so maybe they're just sitting with their eyes closed and they're noticing, oh, my back aches or my neck is locked up. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, it can be as simple as that.
Okay.
But we all have different layers that we feel these places that need more love.
Uh-huh.
So like your breath, you could be scanning your body with your mind, following it down from your head to toe. And you might get to a place where you're like, wait, what am I thinking about? Pizza? That's a good chance that space needs some love, because you just jumped over it. And you're like, wait, I just lost my train of thought. Is sometimes you're avoiding something in that area of your body.
Okay.
I've noticed that patterns throughout with working with my Reiki students and everything, that sometimes that is a place when they get to that place, you're like, oh, wait, where am I now?
Oh, that's good to know. I didn't know that.
So there's all kinds of ways that, or simply your mind goes, my lower back is always bugging me. Maybe there is something here. Maybe there is something I'm holding on to.
Okay.
So and then you explore that physical part of your body, and you can be like, okay, be very detailed. It feels tense. It feels burny. It feels, even if you're like, this feels really odd saying this out loud, all these layers, but watching yourself go through those layers and with physical discomfort, sometimes you move into a space of the emotion. So there's layers. Just like as an intuitive, there's layers in your growth of how you see or feel energy.
Yes.
So it's like all these beautiful people have this gift to read their own energy, but we're just in a different field, of how we feel our body, whether it's breath, body, or we feel it emotionally, or we feel it energetically or psychically, where some of us have the gift of sight, where we see our energy psychically. But a lot of the times, if you're in that category, you're seeing everybody else's and you're forgetting about you.
Yeah.
So this is a practice I encourage all my students to start to do, is to scan their body and check in with their self, so that when they are around other people, they're not as overwhelmed in a sense of whatever it is. If it's you're talking to your family and you're getting triggered, or it's simply being a healer that's oh, this energy feels so intense today. Why?
Yeah.
And it's check in with yourself, work on yourself, let yourself move it out.
Okay. All right. So that's good to know. All right. So there you go, guys. Check in on yourself, and it's okay to cry. All right. Well, you're kind of you're answering all of my questions before I ask them. So my next question was, talk about how everyone has the power to manifest, and maybe give an example of what you've seen.
The power to manifest.
Yeah.
I think I sort of answered.
Yeah, you did answer it with get rid of the limiting beliefs, right?
But it's really nailed it in the words when you said self-worth.
Yeah.
In that session, this is the common thing, is our self-worth can be at a 10 and we don't even know it. But it's working up to getting your self-worth to above 100%, so that when it does go down a little bit, when you feel like nothing's working, you can go back up.
Yeah.
So in the self-worth is usually always 100% attached to something you decided your worth was when you were a kid.
Oh, really?
It's
so even though it's current day life, that is attached to something in childhood.
yes.
Wow.
There's a pattern
Oh.
that, so maybe everybody listening, you can just take a moment without letting yourself like look at anything too deep, and just look at what has happened reoccurringly through your relationships, what has been a pattern throughout your work life, what's been a pattern throughout your friendship relationships. There's a pattern.
Okay.
Or something that you like, you give up, or like it happens over and over. You give up right before you are going to actually experience what you want to discover, manifest, or have.
So can you break it down for them? Just like one clear example. So maybe there's a woman, let's just pretend Amy. Amy has this pattern of what?
Let's see. I don't want to say anything that could create too much emotions for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just finding my words. So I like to use myself a lot for a lot of these things. So there's just like this, like you get into a relationship with one person, and they have this habit of, let's say, for anybody out there, like might have addiction. And it might be a small thing. It could be TV. It could be like, or a video game they're always on.
Okay.
And then you move into another one, and it's pornography. It's like, and then you move into another one. It's alcohol. You move into another one. It's like drugs. You're like, whoa, it's getting louder and louder and louder until you're like, I can't do this anymore. And then, but you have to see, okay, when did this start?
Yeah.
You have to look at mom and dad and see what you saw.
Oh.
And see, because we love our parents so much, no matter what. Usually that inner child loves our parents, and we want their love. We need their connection. It's our desire. And sometimes, and then we take that on into the next relationships. And it's like, we have to decide whether we need more than that. But it's sometimes harder if it's a learned situation like that.
Because then it's familiar.
Yeah.
So you saw dysfunction as a child.
Yeah.
And then it plays out in your adult relationships.
Yeah.
That kind of
That's one.
Okay.
That's one.
Okay.
And then there's the concept of simply, like, you were always told you needed to be better in your grades, better in your grades, better. And you kept trying, and what you wanted to go to school for, it wasn't like, you were just trying to do what your parent wanted you to do because you love them so much and you just want them to love you. And then you realize at some point when you grow in your self-worth that it's not, I can't necessarily make them happy, and that holds on to you. And sometimes that desire that you can't make them happy holds you back from your own happiness.
Okay, yeah.
So your self-worth. So it's so accumulative. It's like, could be all these little experiences that build up to the moment when you decided, I'm only worthy of receiving 30% of what I want in my life. It's a web.
I love it. It's so true. I can speak from experience. Like, wow, we cut the strings, and
and then you cut one string, and then there's another string, and then there's another string. And I think that sometimes we think we aren't like healing, we're not getting anywhere, but in reality, it's, you cut one, you go deeper, you cut another, you go deeper, and you go deeper, and then before you know it, you don't feel like you have a cage. And then sometimes you put yourself back in that cage, and then you take yourself back out. But that's through your decisions in your life. And you can see it if you watch it.
Oh, I love this. This is so cool. All right, let me get to my next. So what is the number one roadblock you see in your clients then?
Roadblock?
Yeah, like when you're trying to help them work through. Like, is there always a roadblock, a common theme?
Yes. So the thing I talked about earlier, vulnerability, not being able to go into that space, and a fear, like, so the beginning of the session, sometimes it's a fear of, where's this going to go? How is this going to change my life?
Yeah.
There is that, like, some people, like, in the concept of, when people want to lose weight and they're doing tapping for losing weight, after they don't feel that label on themselves, like they've always called themselves is overweight or large or whatever, everybody's called them that, and then afterwards there's this concept, I don't feel that way anymore, now what?
Oh, because that's how they identify themselves?
Yeah, the identity. So there's a little bit of sometimes like self-sabotage in our identity where we have to also work on that. Like, so in that like fear of change, because when you get this work done, there's a chance you're gonna let someone go in your life, possibly.
Yeah.
And that itself can stop you at the foot of the door of going into healing.
Yeah.
Is the fact there's one question in EFT that sometimes we ask is, who would be mad at you or disappointed in you if you healed fully?
Oh, wow.
And that one person in your life, you don't need to give them that power
Yeah.
to stop you from getting the healing done because they're not in your session. But for some reason, our mind still does that. Or like if someone told us we are too sensitive, we can't do this work because we're going to cry, right?
Yeah.
So it keeps you from doing that work.
Oh, no. I mean, yeah, I definitely can speak on that. I went in with no intention of crying and I did bawl. And yeah, and I actually had to come in here and record a session afterwards. And I was like putting makeup all over my nose because it was red, but I felt so much better. It was like a huge weight lifted off of me.
And
So,
that's surrender. When you walk into a space not expecting anything, you're like, yes. And you're like, whoa.
whoa, what was that? That was so amazing. Oh, all right. So is there something that our audience at home can do to get in a better mindset and therefore attract a more positive future?
Do the work.
Do the work. All right. So let's break it down for them. Step A.
Step A, just start to be aware of the things that you want and start to go for them. Start to see the little things in your life that make you actually happy and do those little things. But if you're realizing you can't even do those little things, it's probably time to have someone come to hire or connect with someone to help you move through those steps.
Okay.
Like, because the subconscious is so deeply buried inside that sometimes you're not asking yourself the right questions and you're going, why am I like this? But in reality, someone else can step in and ask you the correct questions and then do energetic work because our body physically holds our emotions inside our body. So when you feel a physical pain pattern over and over and over again, then it's talking to you. So if that part of your body is actually talking to you, then you should probably start to listen. And the easiest way to do that is usually if you have someone hold space for you. So whether in the deeper subconscious work is with like holistic sound is how I test you out, see what you need, see where the energy is going to flow.
And can you tell just by being in there where it's stuck?
Where it's stuck.
Yeah.
I choose not to dig into that space. Okay. I want you to do it. But if I do feel something, I do, but it's my job not to like tell you. It's my job to hold back from telling you because it unfolds very naturally with any type of like the emotional freedom technique aspect of the session. When you flow into that space, it flows in I ask the question that helps lead you to that space. Yeah. And sometimes we get to the surface of it, and then sometimes it goes way deeper than we expect. And then they're like, wow, this is like my printer today. It was a great session on myself. My printer started working. Yes. But there's these weird things that happen around you that let you see the actual evidence of it. So step first is of being aware, like, what do I need to do to make myself happy? And then allowing yourself to do it. And if you're not letting yourself do any of the things that you like or love, you probably need someone to help assist in that journey.
And can it be something as simple as like, we'll use Amy. Amy, again, she wants to sit down every night and read for 20 minutes, but she can't.
Yeah.
Because she's taking care of her family. Is that what you mean? Like,
yeah. It can be totally as simple as that because you are putting everybody in front of you first, and it's so hard as like a mom, like you just said, like if Amy wants to read, but in her head she's like, I can't do this, I need to be there for my family, and then she goes into a little bit of anxiety, a little bit of stress, or it just simply stops her in her tracks from opening the book. There's something there. Like in self-worth, there's something there saying, I can't do this for myself.
Okay. She's taking care of everyone else's
Yeah.
needs before her own. And then eventually she's pouring from an empty cup, right?
And she's stuffed everything down. Stuffed it all down, and the cup is empty. And then, and then what do me and all the other lots of us women do?
Explode.
It's a volcano. Yeah. And then we feel bad about the volcano. And then we gotta repair for that, like in our mind. And then it's sorry. You know, but it's our own mind too that we have to repair for these moments, because our emotions are valid, our feelings are valid. And that is what we have to really remember when we're doing this work, is so we don't tell ourselves, oh, this is insignificant. Like this memory is insignificant. This thing that happened to me is insignificant. This emotion is insignificant. No, it's very valid. So believing in yourself.
Yes.
Like, this is valid.
Yes.
Even if it's someone that from outside that has to say, no.
That's not okay.
No. That's valid. Let's keep going. Let's go.
Yeah. Which you helped me do. Yeah, dig. You know, it's a 12-year-old Lorraine, which, incredible. And to further drive it home for them, you were talking about, you know, energy stuck and you feel it. So maybe it is like they're not breathing deep, like they're shallow breathing. You know, what is that? Like,
so
what would that be?
If you, like, say heart is a really good, clear example, is if you are in your heart and your breath is getting fast. Mm-hmm. First of all, any type of anticipation or anxiety is a need. And there's, it's also a warning sign in the brain. When you have a little bit of that, it's telling you your needs aren't usually being met in some category, or you're not, whether it's you not meeting your need or someone else not meeting your need. We have this energy is a way of survival. Feeling energy is also a way to survive. So if you're feeling your heart and you feel this anticipation and going deeper, is like, it could be grief, like lungs. If you have a lot of congestion in your lungs, grief, like there might be something you're grieving, and grieving isn't just death. Grieving is breakups. Grieving is like, for example, with me, when I left my house, I couldn't have my condo anymore after I went through a divorce. I was grieving my condo. Yeah. I was like, and it feels very weird, right, to think that, but it was like, that was deep in my heart. I still miss my condo. So I got to tap on that. Yeah. All these little things that flow in, that it could be as simple as that, but that simplicity might take you somewhere deeper into the story. Yeah. Like the condo might be something much deeper. Okay. And then you're like, then you feel it, and then there's a release on your heart. Mm-hmm. But it could be simply breathing in and out, and I give myself permission to release this heaviness, this stagnation, words that you feel in the present moment, it is, and then letting yourself feel the emotion. You don't necessarily need to know why. If you're going to dig into why, I do suggest having someone in the space with you if you're going to do that work, just so that you don't push yourself too far and you don't come back, because you want an anchor. That's why the breathing's important if you're scanning your body and checking in with yourself and not judging that heart space that you're feeling. Yes. But it could be grief. It's usually grief, old grief.
Wow. It's incredible. Oh. All right. So I guess my last question was just, how can they find you? How can they work with you so they can have transformative experiences like I did?
Healing Key Connections. Most of you are going to read it as Healing Kai Connections, because it's K-I in the middle. So healing, like it's supposed to be spelled, and K-I, and then connections with an S.com. Okay. You can find me there. It has my number on it. Instagram is Healing Key Connections. Facebook is Healing Key Connections. Yes. And I think I have a picture of me with my giant bull.
It's so beautiful.
And my logo is with an elephant holding a baby. So anything with that, you'll know it's me.
Yes. And I'm going to include my testimonial for you, because it was just like mind blowing. Like, and truly, I'm so grateful because I was able to release that limiting belief, right? And step into I am worthy. And like, my life is just like, I'm like the butterfly out of the chrysalis, and I'm flying around now. So thank you.
And I love it when that happens, because I was like, that was a short session.
I know. Well, it was what? No, an hour? That's considered short.
No, like the EFT part was short, and the fact that you were like, I was like, whoa, yeah, I love this session.
It's because I was able and ready, right?
You were ready. It was the perfect moment. You found the right moment. You found the perfect moment, and you were ready to go there.
Oh, I love it. All right. So yeah, if I could speak to anyone, especially women out there listening, and like you've got this thing running around in your head and you're like, I know I'm worthy, but you just can't make the brave step to maybe end the relationship or get the new job or move to the other state. Teresa can help you get to that state because she did for me. And thank you, Teresa. All right. So healingkeyconnections.com.
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Teresa. All right. Bye, everyone. And remember, happiness is a choice. So choose a happy day. Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. To stay connected to me, please visit my website at chooseahappyday.com. And at the bottom, just sign up for my email list to be notified of any upcoming events, book launches, as well as new podcasts. Until next time, have a happy day.